César Estrada Chavez, an American civil rights activist and labor leader, was a first-generation American. He was born on March 31, 1927, near his family's small homestead outside Yuma, Arizona. The Chavez family lost their Arizona homestead in the Great Depression, and in the late 1930s moved to Northern California. César and his family became migrant farm workers, thrust into the industrialized agriculture of California. César dropped out of school after the 8th grade to help support his family by working in the fields. César joined the Navy right after World War II to see the world. This experience truly opened his eyes. After the Navy, Chavez returned to the field and became a grassroots organizer for a Latino civil rights group. He then left the group to form the National Farm Workers Association, now known as the United Farm Workers of America, with a goal of unionizing farm workers. César believed that the movement he found had to be more than just a union that was solely concerned with improving wages, hours, and working conditions, although the UFW certainly did that. But it also needed to address the crippling dilemmas the farm workers faced in the community after they came home from work. Most farm workers were poor and didn't have access to quality housing, healthcare, or education. Chavez was adamant that his new union follow a strict policy of using only non-violent tactics as a means of negotiation. While the organization was still in its infancy, UFW embarked upon one of the most influential boycotts in U.S. history, the boycott of all California table grapes. César had studied history. He knew that farm worker strikes were crushed and that California's powerful agricultural industry controlled much of rural California. César knew he needed to take the fight from the fields, where the odds were stacked against the farm workers, and move it to the cities. Over the next few years, led by César Chavez, the farm workers would boycott, protest, march, and fast their way to a collective bargaining agreement, which guaranteed field workers, among other things, increased pay and the right to unionize. As the head of the United Farm Workers of America, labor rights was not the only cause championed by Chavez. César's commitment to social justice went far beyond the farm workers. In the 1960s, he was a strong and vocal opponent of the Vietnam War. In the 1970s, César was an early and vocal supporter of gay rights, which was not a popular position at that time, especially among his own constituency. César Chavez died in his sleep on April 23, 1993. He was survived by his wife Helen, their 8 children, and 31 grandchildren. In 1994, he was posthumously awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Bill Clinton. During an interview, César was asked what accounts for all the affection and respect the farm workers showed him in public. César paused for a moment, and then he smiled, and he said, "The feeling is mutual." To continue educating future generations, the city of Glendale holds an annual celebration to commemorate the life and legacy of César Chavez.